Well, hello, Anthony Punchin here down at PW Fitness in Goring. I thought I'd jump on today. I get an awful lot of, as you'd imagine, I get an awful lot of questions related to health, fitness, weight loss, that kind of thing. So I thought basically what I'll do is I'll go through my messages, put them all in one place and jump on and answer a bunch of them today. Obviously I can't answer all of them because I get an awful lot. And, you know, I don't want to be talking for the next half an hour, but I can always come on and do some more later. And if you've got any further questions, then feel free to get them in kind of the comments down here or you know, as you normally do, message me or whatever. Right, so I thought I'd grab a few and start there. So first one I've got here is, does having protein within half an hour of waking up speed up metabolism? Okay, that's a tricky one. Yes, technically, yes it does. However, it's a little bit misleading. It doesn't necessarily have to be protein to speed up your metabolism, but it is good practice to be eating protein first thing in the day, because in the West we tend not to. We tend to eat carbohydrate-based breakfast and don't tend to have any protein till later in the day. But that is good practice, certainly. But it's not the protein, and protein itself, by the way. Protein will actually increase your metabolism just generally because it has a higher, what we call thermic effects than other nutrients. Thermic effect is how many calories it burns by being digested and so on and so forth. So yes, eating protein does increase your metabolism, but as far as increasing your metabolism early in the day, eating full stop will increase your metabolism early in the day, because the night before, basically, as you sleep, your metabolism lowers in the evening, because otherwise you probably wouldn't sleep, because you'd be, you know, running all cylinders. And eating that protein first thing in the morning, or eating any food first thing in the morning, will kickstart your metabolism. So yes, always good to make it a protein, and actually there are studies that show if you eat protein for breakfast, you burn more fat overall, so particularly later in the day, for various reasons. Is it better to work out in the morning after breakfast or on an empty stomach? Oh, this is a controversial one. Basically, this goes one of each ways. There's a school of thought that suggests because you're fasted in the morning, you will burn more fat by working out early in the morning on an empty stomach. The actual fact of the matter is that that may be true, but the actual physical amount of fat that you burn will be pretty negligible. And honestly, the best time to work out is, you know, this is going into a slightly different question, but the best time to work out is the time that you will keep it up consistently. As far as having breakfast before or after, though, that's largely personal. For example, some people are, get quite nauseated if they've eaten within kind of, I don't know, 45 minutes or so of working out, and often people don't get up at, you know, let's say the people that work out early don't get up at 3 o'clock so they can work out at 5, but you will store a certain amount of kind of muscle glycogen from the night before, so if you do work out on an empty stomach, it's probably not going to hurt you. Right, I read that exercise can help with fatigue. True story. How does that work if I have no energy? Yeah, I can understand that. Well, basically, there's a couple of things that work here. First of all, if you have no energy, chances are it's because you are unfit, you are out of shape, and obviously you need to exercise to get into better shape, to get more fitness and therefore get more energy, because when you exercise and when you are fitter, you have more energy. It's a side effect of doing that. Also, eating better will do the same thing for you. So yeah, but the other thing is lethargy tends to breed more lethargy. If you've ever kind of spent a day just vegging, you know, watching box sets all day or whatever, then you'll know how difficult it is to suddenly, you know, get up and change your trajectory and kind of, you know, do something active all of a sudden from nothing, because the more lethargic you are, the more lethargic you will become. The more sedentary you are, the more lethargic you will become as well. So yeah, so that's how that basically works. And again, I get early on, if you are fatigued, it's difficult obviously to work out, so just do a couple of minutes, do what you can, go for a walk. You know, it doesn't have to be much at that stage, it just has to be taxing for you at that time, at your level of fitness. But over time, that will obviously that will increase your fitness, and it will lower your fatigue levels. In one of your other videos, you said that if you plateau, have a cheat day. Yes, I did. That was a long time ago, well done. How does that work? Okay, that's kind of complicated-ish, but not really, I suppose. I don't know. Okay, there's a hormone called leptin, okay? And basically, what happens is that leptin is required to help you burn fat. You need to have kind of full-ish stores of kind of leptin to help you burn fat. And one of the things that keeps those stores full is eating. However, here's a double-edged sword. To lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, i.e. you need to eat slightly less. And over time, what happens is that the levels of leptin kind of slowly get lower and lower because of it. And eventually you kind of reach a point where you'll stall because you're plateau, because you don't have enough leptin, your body's not kind of firing on all cylinders to kick the fat burners in. And what you can do is when you have a cheat day, when you kind of pile on the calories suddenly, it basically tells your body, it kind of fills up that leptin, tells your body, hey, everything's fine. And it can get on with the job at hand, which is then go back to, as it was, burning fat. Basically, I tend to recommend a cheat day every 1 to 2 weeks. That's variable depending on the person. If you kind of eat a lower carb diet longer term, because I know it's beneficial for a small percentage of people, then I'd recommend you at least have a high carb day every maybe twice a week, not a cheat day, a high carb day. But otherwise, yeah, that's why. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense. Right, what's the quickest way to doing a full push-up? Okay, it might sound a little bit trite, but the quickest way to do a full push-up is to do a full push-up. And you might say, I can't do a full push-up. Yeah, but the thing to do is try to do that full push-up first of all, because unless you are actually, even if you don't perform the actual full movement, the intention of performing that movement to be pushing against the ground and not getting anywhere, it's a bit like pushing against the wall and not getting anywhere. You're still firing all the same muscles and all the same kind of nerve endings and everything in all the same order to tell your body that it needs to get stronger to be able to do that. So even if you can do a half push-up, do that. Even if you can do a quarter push-up, do that. The next thing to do is to start doing negatives instead. So instead of doing push-ups on your knees, lower yourself slowly in say 5 seconds or more from the top to the floor on your toes, then put your knees down and push yourself up, and then go back to lowering yourself, and so on and so forth. So those two things will work. First of all, like I say, you have to try to do a push-up first. I mean, don't just go, no, I can't do it. Yeah, you have to actually tell your body that it needs to accomplish this task, because without it knowing that it needs to accomplish this task, then there's no reason why it will. Yeah, if you constantly do push-ups on your knees, you will do loads and loads and loads, and that's fine, but it doesn't know that it needs to take that next step in resistance unless you actually tax it to the point that it needs to take that next step in resistance. Sweet, that's all for now. I will, I'll have a look. I'll gather together a whole bunch of other questions that you've sent me and stuff. And if you've got any more, as always, chuck them in the comments below. Stick them on the page, message me, whatever else it is. I mean, you people get hold of me in all kinds of different ways, and that's absolutely fine. And I'll do my best to, I'll do a couple more videos like this and answer them all in one go. Excellent. Always a pleasure. I will see you all soon.